In the silence that followed the strike, all that remained was dust and the unbearable stillness of what once was life. Saly's tiny shoe lay near the doorstep, pink, with a fraying butterfly. Her favorite. The other was never found. Her aunt, trembling, searched through the rubble with bare, bleeding hands. She had braided Saly's hair that morning, 2 neat plaits tied with sky-blue ribbons. She still smelled the lavender oil they used, clinging faintly to the wind. There had been laughter in the house just hours before. Saly was practicing the alphabet, clapping with pride after each letter. Now, only silence answers the echoes of her voice. Amid twisted metal and shattered glass, her scarf, a small black one, was wrapped tightly around her brother's chest. Their mother had used it to try and stop the bleeding. That scarf, meant for modesty, became a lifeline. But it wasn't enough. Saly's father now stands alone in the debris, holding that scarf to his face. No screams left, just breath and memory, and the unbearable weight of the smallest coffin, carried in trembling arms and buried with the shattered pieces of his heart. That morning, Saly had drawn a heart outside the door, 2 stick figures inside, holding hands. She said it was her and her mama, forever together. The chalk was faded, but her smile wasn't. Not yet. The air smelled like jasmine and dust. A strange, bittersweet mix, familiar, until the silence shattered. Her mother had just pulled bread from the oven. Steam still lingered when the blast came. The walls cracked, not just the ones around them, but the ones inside. Time stopped, then scattered. Like glass. Like dreams. Her sister's doll lay face down in the corner, one button eye staring at nothing. Saly's crayons spilled across the floor, a rainbow spilled into ruin. And in that moment, between life and loss, her father whispered a prayer. Not for revenge. Not even for justice. Just for mercy. For a little girl who once drew hearts in the dirt. And believed they could last. Now that heart remains, faint and weathered, etched in the dust of war. The world took Saly. But it could not erase her. Not from the earth. Not from the soul of those who carry her name in every breath. There had been tea on the stove. A soft song playing on the old radio, static and lullabies woven together like comfort. Saly had just asked for more sugar in hers. Her mother smiled. Then, the world tore open. No warning, just fire. And silence. The air turned to smoke and screams. Concrete folded like paper. Sunlight vanished behind a cloud of dust thick as sorrow. Neighbors rushed in barefoot, stumbling over shattered memories, pillows ripped open, a tiny dress caught on twisted metal, a crayon crushed beneath a stone. And there she was. Saly. Cradled in broken arms, her face still soft as if sleeping. Eyes closed. Lips parted as though whispering the last word she never got to say. Her father fell to his knees, hands trembling, voice gone. He searched her face for life, for warmth, for something to hold on to. But there was only stillness. And the unbearable quiet where laughter used to live. That morning was like any other. Until it became the day his world ended. Until it became the day the sky fell. And buried his heart beneath the ruins. Ines didn't scream. She couldn't. The sound got lost somewhere between her chest and her throat. Buried beneath the weight of a child who should have been painting flowers, not wrapped in white. Saly's body was so light. Too light. Like the soul had been stolen, but the shell remained. Ines pressed her cheek against that soft, lifeless face. Still warm. Still smelling faintly of rosewater and ash. Time slowed. Around her, the world was in motion. Cameras clicked, voices murmured, sirens wailed in the distance. But she heard none of it. Only the memory of Saly's giggle in her ear. She rocked back and forth, whispering prayers into the cloth. As if God might hear her more clearly through the silence of grief. The photo, frozen in time, became a symbol. But for Ines, it wasn't history. It was now. It is now. No frame could contain that pain. No caption could explain it. And no prize in the world could ever be worth the cost of that moment. Because Ines wasn't holding a photograph. She was holding her future, already gone. Saly used to fall asleep in her mother's arms. curled against her heartbeat like it was the safest sound in the world. She thought her mother could fix anything. A scraped knee, a broken toy, a bad dream. But no one could fix this. Now the house where lullabies once echoed is nothing but broken stone and silence. The kitchen where her mother used to hum is dust. The bedroom where her sister whispered stories at night, gone. No final hug, no last words. Just the sudden, brutal absence of everything she knew. Their graves lie close, too close for such small bodies. Tiny mounds of earth, side by side, marked not by names alone, but by love cut short. And yet, in the stillness, something remains. A faint trace of warmth in the rubble. A memory of laughter carried on the wind. A prayer whispered by a father too numb to cry. Because even when everything is taken, love refuses to leave. And that love now lives in the silence. Aching but unbroken. Ahmed is only 3. Too young to understand war. Too old to forget what he saw. He clings to Antinous now. Quiet, watchful. His eyes carry the weight of a boy who has seen too much, but still searches for the voice that used to call him Habibi. Every night, he asks the same question softly, as if afraid the answer might break him. Where is Saly? Ines never knows what to say. How do you tell a child that his sister, the one who held his hand in the dark, who shared her bread and her crayons, now sleeps beneath the earth? Sometimes, she just pulls him close, holds him tight until his breathing slows. She brushes his hair from his eyes, and whispers a story that ends before the good part. He still lines up her toys. A cracked doll, a plastic cup, a tiny shoe. Like he's waiting for her to come back and play. But she doesn't. And in the quiet, his question remains. Not just in words, but in the silence that follows them. The photo made headlines. It sparked outrage for a moment. A trending hashtag, a caption, a scroll. Then the world moved on, as if grief expires when it's no longer viral. But for those who loved her, Saly is not a headline. She is a heartbeat that never returned. A giggle that still echoes in dreams. A tiny hand that once reached for safety and found none. Her backpack still hangs by the door, unopened. Inside, a drawing she never finished. 2 stick figures under a blue sky. She told her aunt it was her family, together forever. Now, that paper is all they have. Crinkled, faded, but held like scripture. Saly wasn't a symbol. She was a soul. She had favorite songs. She cried when her sister teased her. She believed the world was good. And maybe, that's what hurts the most. Because she never got the chance to learn it wasn't. And we should never forget that. Because silence is not neutral. It is a choice. And every time we scroll past her face, every time we look away, we bury her again. Saly deserved more than a grave dug by missiles. She deserved school mornings and sleepy eyes, balloons on her birthday, a future with laughter. But now we carry her voice. In every conversation, in every prayer, in every tear that falls for a child we never met, but somehow cannot forget. Don't let her fade into statistics. Don't let her be swallowed by apathy. Say her name, not just once, but until it shakes the silence, until the world listens, until no child's life is seen as expendable. Because when we speak her name, we do not bring her back, but we refuse to let her disappear. Let Saly be the spark. Let you be the echo. And may that echo grow louder than the war that stole her.